I call my best friend the boundary queen because she's so great at setting boundaries. How
I
would
love
you
it.
how would you model boundary setting for somebody who struggles with it or doesn't believe in their voice or doesn't think that anybody would listen?
Hmm. I would start with praying,
Mhm,
journaling. That, believe it or not, had also helped me to get to a place where I was. Also, I know you all are aware when you do things for a certain amount of days, it becomes a habit. Or even if you write things on a mirror, if you write things on a post-it and stick it on your mirror or your laptop, whatever you frequently see, you'd be surprised at how those things can help you. Reading books, whether it's self-help or maybe it's trying to teach you whatever it is that you're trying to become. You're trying to become stronger, you're trying to heal, you're trying to resolve certain conflicts. All of those things will help you. And again, look at the pages that you follow. Are you following people who are uplifting you, who are encouraging you to set those boundaries, to be a better person, giving you those affirmations, things like that? Be very mindful of the things that you follow. And also we have control of the things that we do, the things that we see. So be mindful of who you're surrounding yourself with. If you're surrounding yourself with people who make you feel like you don't have a voice, you don't matter, or you have a hard time setting your boundaries with, those aren't your people.
mm,
They really aren't your people. And it's okay to take breaks from people. And if you take breaks from people and you realize that your life is actually flourishing and better without them in it, that's a sign right there as well. And again, surround yourself with people who are going to uplift you. I happen to be a part of a great sorority of women where whenever I start to feel down or I feel like, oh my goodness, this opportunity didn't come through for me, or I know that I can literally call on any one of them and they will support me, they will uplift me, speak life into me. And as I mentioned, even when I don't say anything, I get those that will randomly check in with me. Hey sis, I haven't heard from you in a while, just checking in. Or hey sis, just wanted to know how you're doing. Am I gonna see you at this meeting? Like little things like that.
oh my goodness. I have to say, I think this is my favorite episode yet. You are incredible. I'm literally this is life-giving right now. Um, I'll ask one question, but, thank you for sharing. That was so personal about the grief you experienced, and I'm so sorry you went through that. For people listening, grief has many faces and many stages. How what advice do you have to those who are grieving right now and are hard on themselves because they feel like they need to be in a certain place by a certain time?
As I mentioned earlier, give yourself grace.
Mhm,
I am fortunate enough where I'm in a space where I could finally talk about him without crying. Because even if this had been 2, 3 years ago, I probably would have had to step away.
mhm,
Or I would say, oh, can we just stop recording for a minute? But I'm in a space where, because he's my guardian angel. And I know that he's around. And, sometimes I can sense things and I'm like, oh, that's probably him, little things like that. But definitely give yourself grace. There is no, there's no how-to guide on how to grieve. There's no one that will tell me on God's green earth that, oh, yeah, it'll take you this amount of time to grieve and you'll be better, or you'll forget about the person, or no, you will always carry that person in your spirit. You will always find the littlest thing. Like, I remember there was one Christmas, this is about 5 years ago, where someone had bought me the Marc Jacobs Daisy perfume, and I just started crying because that was the last perfume he gave me. So there really is no limit to healing. There really is no, okay, you go through these 10 steps of grieving and afterwards you are a-okay like it never happened. Absolutely not. And that's why I encourage people to not forget about your loved ones that have passed on, or that friend or that boyfriend or that husband, whatever it may be, because they matter to you. Whether they were in your life for a year, 10 years or more, it was still something significant to you, So if you have to recognize them in a post for every birthday, or if you need to visit their gravesite often, if you need to create a memorial for them, if you need to do a community service in their honor, if you need to, whatever it is that you need to do to help you through this process, I encourage you to do it. But again, it's when you start doing those self medicating things, the over drinking, the overeating, that's when I want you to start to look into, okay, I can't do this on my own. I need help. And even if you don't know where to go to that person that you trust and say, you know what, I need help. This is what I'm going through right now. And they should be able to direct you to the best resource out there if they really love you and they care about you and they want to see you be your best self. But trust and believe there is no concrete way for anyone to grieve someone.
Mm, so beautiful.
Choosing to continue to love is such a hard decision to make, and you made that brave decision, and you understood that that was going to always bring peace to your heart and your thoughts, and embracing everything you live with that person.
Yeah.
Sometimes we believe that we have to let go, and honestly, if you continue to love, it's always going to be there in a different state, and sometimes it transforms into something else. And
Mm,
the fact that you always chose to love,
yeah.
and although it came with some degree of pain, but now you're able to cherish the moments. Even you're able to carry and give. Perhaps the best thing you can give from that is the empowerment to other people.
Mm,
The guidance. And since we're talking about guidance, since there is no guidance for grievance, unfortunately, there's really none. There's also
no.
no guidance, a real, like, one-on-one, step-by-step, single parent guide to be a perfect parent, because that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
We, anyone can write because it's circumstantial too. It also has to do with what kind of traumas you came with, and it's so unique in a way. But I would love to hear, what is your guide in your transformation and through your journey of what that really looks like for somebody that can be very similar to you.
I would say stay true to yourself and your morals and your beliefs. As I mentioned, I had a great support system growing up and even that still surrounds me. For those that don't have that, I want you to find your tribe because believe it or not, family isn't always going to be blood. There are people out there who are going to care for you and look out for you and again who want the best for you. And for me, my guide is always, of course, putting God first and then ultimately knowing that it's not about me. Everything that I do is for my son. So there were like, even when I had my son, I remember after I graduated college, my mom even made a comment to me. And she's like, even if you wanted to, you know, go away for your master's or if you wanted to, do some other opportunities, I have him. You could go ahead. And I couldn't do that. I couldn't leave my baby. Even I know he would be in good hands and all of those things. I couldn't do that to him. So for me, I always modeled my stuff on what I saw growing up and how it could be better. However I came up growing up, okay, now times two. How can I make that better for my son? Which is why, like I said, I did the year on Section 8 because I knew that that was my only out. That was the way that I could get the three-bedroom apartment. That was the way that I could move into, a better space. That was it. So everything that I did, I made sure that my son was first. And I take care of my mom. So for so pretty much him and my mom have always been at the forefront of everything that I did. So that's pretty much my guide, my baby.
Awesome.
He is 6'5". But
uh,
yeah, that has always been my guide. I always say put your children first, even if that means, you know, you're not going to date right now, or even if that means you're not going to, do this. You have to make certain sacrifices for that, whatever it is, put those children first because they did not ask to be here.
yeah, but there must be a line outside, a lineup of gentlemen out there, and then they see the 6'5" gentleman
I
there.
know, right?
They must go running away quickly too.
Yes, yes.
It's like, oh God. It's like, what am I getting myself into?
Exactly. So he's my little gentle giant. So, you see the hype, but then when you start talking to him, it's like, oh yeah, he's his age, like
I don't know,
right.
Kevin, if you have any questions, because this is really going in deep.